Hi again, Psych Kids. Welcome back to Unit 4 Psych. In the last few videos, we've looked at classical conditioning. Now it's time to consider a different learning theory, trial and error learning. Trial and error learning is a theory that is quite similar to operant conditioning, which we will look at in greater detail in the next few videos. Essentially, trial and error learning involves trying different possibilities until the desired outcome is achieved. Much of trial and error learning can be traced back to Edward Thorndike's puzzle box. Thorndike used a hungry cat as his subject and repeatedly put the cat in a box to see how long it took to escape over repeated trials. Once the cat escaped the box, it was rewarded with food, but to do this, it needed to pull a string on the inside of the box. The setup was a bit like this. Thorndike found that over time, the cat took less time to escape the box than in the initial trial. However, it was quite a gradual process. It wasn't the case that as soon as the cat escaped the box once, it knew immediately how to do it again the next time. The gradual nature of trial and error learning is exemplified by this graph. Here is a question from the 2011 VCAR exam. This is clearly a case of trial and error learning. The cat tried several different ways of getting out until it was eventually successful. But trial and error learning is not one of the four options. Option D is Thorndikes Law of Effect. This is the correct response. Why? Because Thorndike's Law of Effect is hugely relevant to trial and error learning. It states that responses that produce desirable outcomes are more likely to occur again, whilst responses that produce undesirable outcomes are less likely to occur again. This is fairly intuitive, but it explains how trial and error learning works. Because the cat achieved a positive outcome by pulling on a string inside the puzzle box, it is more likely to do that same action again in the future. Next up, we're looking at operant conditioning. Keep working hard and have a psychedelic day.